Before we get going with today's episode, I just want to remind you to take a look at our partner SportScope's website, sportscope.com. They do an incredible job with their end zone cameras, which has artificial intelligence designed to get you consistent end zone film and reduce your video staff on game nights. Edge Replay syncs with multiple camera angles and delivers instant replay to your sideline iPads in seconds with no laptops needed. We talked to six-time state champion Dutch Fork about SportScope and how they used it in their program. Check out our show notes for a link to that podcast. Some great ideas there on how to efficiently and effectively run your sideline for adjustments on game day. Today's episode is with Coach Jeff Traylor from the Lawrence First and Goal Clinic. He did an excellent job here talking about their program and how they build it. And for them, it starts with something that involves branding, and that's the 210 and their Triangle of Toughness, and it means a lot to them. And Coach is going to explain exactly how they put that together and what it means to their program. Here's Coach Jeff Traylor on the Triangle of Toughness.
Our big deal here when I got the job, I got hired in December 2019. About 68 of our players showed up for my very first team meeting. And I spoke to those guys, and I basically told them that, they didn't choose me to be their coach. I chose them, and it was up to me to win them over. I allowed each one of them to set up a private meeting with me, and all those kids did that. So we had an individual meeting with all those kids, and I just asked them, for three things that they thought were really good about the program and three things they thought they wanted fixed. We identified some things, and we went to work. And I'd like to talk to you about what our brand is. In that mirage of stuff you are looking at there, I know it looks like a lot, and it is a lot. We call that our hashtag 210 Triangle of Toughness culture. It's our brand, and I'm going to speak to you about that today, of what that means to us and how we implement that. Like I said, it's our hashtag 210 Triangle of Toughness, and I'm going to explain what all that means and how we teach it. I said that our brand, and what is our brand? Our brand is when your image and your identity line up. And what I always tell the fellas is some of them have tattoos. If their tattoo is something that represents what means something important to them and they're not living that out, well, then that's not image and identity lining up. Some people wear crosses in our field house or building. And if you're if you're not living up to that, that's not your brand, right? So this is our brand. It's a bunch of fake, hypocritical stuff if we don't live up to it. The 210, obviously, that's the area code of San Antonio. That's where we were going to start our recruiting and work our way out. So that's pretty self-explanatory. One of our missions here is to become the football team of San Antonio. I don't know how familiar you are with the city of San Antonio. We have the Spurs and the Rodeo, Fiesta, the Riverwalk, but we don't have any other professional teams. So we want to be that city. And we've done a really good job of recruiting this area. In 2019, we had 11 players on the roster. And by 2022, we're up to 40 players right now that are currently from our area code. Here's an idea that actually I did not come up with. I was going to do the single digits, 0 through 9. We vote for those kids, whoever best exemplifies our culture pillars. Coach Rule, who I stole the idea from, who's now the Carolina Panthers, used to be at Baylor, used to be at Temple. He called me one night and he said, Jeff, you ought to make it where your 2, your 1, and your 0 are the players that get the most votes. So I love the idea. So in order to wear a single digit for us, you had to be voted on by your coaches and your peers. And the ones that wear the 2, the 1, and the 0 are the ones that get the most votes. Here's how we score it. Each coach's vote counts 5 points. A senior's vote counts 4 points. A junior's vote counts 3. A sophomore's vote counts 2. And a freshman vote counts 1. We do this about 2 weeks out from the first game of the year. Of course, my equipment guy, Tyler Stretch-Renard, wants to kill me because I'm not telling him what the numbers are till 2 weeks before the season starts. But so we go through all the fall count. Then we vote on that. What is the Triangle of Toughness? That's what the 2, the 1, and the 0 mean. This is something, I stole from Pete Carroll years ago. I was the head high school coach for 15 years at Gilmer High School. Those first 7 years, we were just We were a 10 personnel team, just threw it all over the yard. I had to change as a head coach. I had to become a more complete head coach. I saw how Pete Carroll did this, and I thought it was very good about, holding myself accountable. The first part of that triangle is, we're going to be very physical on defense. That's after the game's over, we always ask ourselves just that question: whose defense was the most physical? In our 2 years here together, we feel like we've been out physical on the field twice in those 25 games. Probably a couple of draws, and the other, 19 games, we really felt like we were the most physical defense out there. Running the ball on offense, you run the football to win the game. You throw the ball to score. That's what we tell our kids. We take great pride in how our receivers block, our tight ends block, carrying out our fakes at running back, carrying out our fakes at quarterback, just to help, with the whole team run aspect of this. The third leg of this triangle is we're committed to playing our very best players on special teams. If you start on defense, you're going to start on two teams. And it's just something I'm committed to. And I'll admit our first year here, we were pretty thin, and it was pretty hard to stay true to this. But our second year, we got a little bit more depth, and we're very committed to all three of the triangles equal parts. And we try to make sure as a head coach that we play complementary football and take care of each other on all three parts of the game. That's a tremendous philosophy shift for me, because I was a play caller and loved to throw the ball a lot. And it's just not a sustainable way to keep winning, in my opinion. So we've become way more 11 personnel, 12 personnel. We were probably 12 personnel, half the snaps last year, 11 personnel, the other half. So let's review real quick. The 2, the 1, and the 0s, those are our single digits. We vote for those, right? The triangle of toughness is to be the most physical defense, commit to running the football as a team, and playing our best players on special team.
Thanks again for listening to the Coaching Coordinator Podcast. You can get all the replays from Lawrence First and Goal Clinic at lfgf2022.coachesclinic.com. Over 130 of those. Great content for whatever level you are at, whatever side of the ball you are on. Again, go to lfgf2022.coachesclinic.com. Follow me on Twitter at Coach K. Grabowski, and follow all we're doing at coachandcoordinator.com.